What's going on, everybody? Nerd of the 90s here, and I'm here reviewing the next movie in the next lineup, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. This is the part where Warner Brothers took a big, huge facepalm right towards its face, even though everybody gave Man of Steel 55% on Rotten Tomatoes. But still, it is what it is. Let's talk about this movie because some good, some bad, some so-and-so. So with that in mind, guys, let's start talking about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, directed once again by Zack Snyder. And here's a huge cast right over here. Starring Ben Affleck, Henry Cavill, Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg, Diane Lane, Lawrence Fishburne, Jeremy Irons, Holly Hunter, and Gal Gadot. Let's start off first again in the very story mode. To me, this does pick up a little bit from the... this is kind of like a little bit of a Batman origin story. We get a little bit of it, hints. We get to see, like in the very credits, that Bruce Wayne as a child loses his parents. Bruce Wayne falls inside the cave, falls inside of a bat cave. Immediately just flies up out of the grave and stuff like that, which is completely weird. But okay, whatever. Then after that, we get to see Bruce Wayne arrive at Metropolis. Drives completely fast, and this actually happens in the moment when the whole planet is actually turning into Krypton. He's trying to approach to his Wayne building to at least get his hostages, get his workers and everybody out of the building. But then after that, things completely turn. Everything completely calms down. The world engine has been destroyed by Superman. After that, we get to see the biggest brawl going on, General Zod versus Superman. And then after that, when General Zod and Superman land in the building of the Wayne building, we get to see Zod destroy the whole building. But Bruce Wayne actually accuses Superman for everything that has happened. And then a lot of hostages die. And a lot of destruction happens in the movie, and it gets completely that. And then we get to see the motivation of Bruce Wayne, that he completely loses his touch. And this is actually the moment when everybody says, why does Batman kill? What does Batman kill? What does Batman kill? We'll get to that in a little bit, so we'll hold that to that. And we get to see the motivations of Bruce Wayne, or should I say Batman, trying to get his revenge on Superman and to at least prove himself well. But then there's so lots of motivations for other characters, which we'll get to in a bit. And this is actually sets up the storyline between Superman and Batman fighting against each other. And yeah, I give it that. And then we get to see that the whole universe is divided between people calling Superman a hero, a god, and everything else like that. And not only that too, we get to see some people very divided. And then after that, we get to see bad with a few areas, and we get to see that Superman shows up at a desert. We get to see in Africa, and then where Lois Lane is interviewing a terrorist group, which to me, I'm like, wow, really? And then we get to see Jimmy Olsen for less than 1 minute get to be at least introduced, and then kid killed off like that. And I'm like, wow, really? Just like that? And to me, that kind of pissed me off a bit. And then with that on, we get to see Superman come in and save the day. But one of the henchmen, right, this is when they introduce KGB, or should I say Anatoly Kalasev, who pretty much burns everybody down, the whole village. And then right there, shows that everybody that Superman did all this mess, because Superman does show up at the nick of time, saves Lois Lane from danger, and then with that just completely just plummets the guy out from a wall. And to me, he should be dead. And yeah, that's when everybody just at least tells Superman that Superman is a bad guy, and at least exposes him for killing these people. And then Batman just goes on a killing spree, punishing people, branding them. So yeah, the story is a bit convoluted, so I'm a little divided on that. So yeah, I'll give it that. As for the most divided and the ones that fan really hated about the casting, let's talk about Bruce Wayne / Batman, played by Ben Affleck. He shut us up, and my God, he is bulky. He is huge for the Batman role, and I gotta give credit to Ben Affleck. Look at that. Look at that. He is fucking badass. He is old. He has been through shit, and he has lost a lot of good innocent people. And this is the part where Alfred says, so that's how it starts. The fury, the rage, the feeling of powerlessness that turns good men cruel. And everybody's saying, what does Batman kill? That's when Alfred just said right there. Everybody says Batman doesn't kill. Well, that's how the shit goes in the movie. So be happy with that. And to me, Ben Affleck's performance as both Bruce Wayne and Batman, absolutely amazing. As for Henry Cavill as Clark Kent and Superman, we get to see everybody on the divided side for what's going on with them. Everybody likes him as a hero, and he gets accused for killing the people up in Africa. He kind of is confused of like, is people needing Superman on this planet? Does everybody hate Superman? Does everybody even deserve Superman? He's confused of what he's going through, and especially when he's working at the Daily Planet. And to me, I thought the Daily Planet stuff was really cool. We get to see where he becomes a reporter. Henry Cavill once again does deliver as Superman, despite his confusion. As for the most divided of the most divided, actually this is the most hated. Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. I'll defend this right here. Gene Hackman's Lex Luthor. He's a cocky billionaire who wants nothing more but to at least rule the planet for himself. I know everybody doesn't want to hear this name. Kevin Spacey's Lex Luthor in the Superman Returns movie was really good. He was a greedy guy. All he can say is just jealous of his powers, and that's what he wants even more. Let's talk more about this Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg. I liked it. I liked his performance. I thought it was pretty solid, even though he's more of a psychopath. But his motivations here were all he wants to do is burn Superman's reputation and pretty much just shit on everything that has to do with Superman. And yeah, I thought he was a bit chaotic. He's devastated to at least punish Superman and to at least burn Superman's reputation and to at least get Batman and Superman to at least bash each other. And I thought his performance was absolutely great. Doomsday. Why did you guys waste the character? Yeah, everybody didn't like how the way he looked like a Ninja Turtle, a mutated Ninja Turtle. What the fuck? This is the part where the studio's interference immediately took part. Why was Doomsday introduced immediately now? Why you guys didn't introduce this in like Man of Steel 3? That would have been perfect. Doomsday, he's okay. I really wish to see him at his full power. We get to see him at his full power, but only for a short time. And as for the other villain, Antonoli Knaisev, or should I say KGB, a future Suicide Squad member, I thought his performance was great, being Lex Luthor's henchman, doing all this dirty work to burn Superman's reputation and also Batman's too. But I thought his performance was great. I'm a little bit on the divided side here with the villain, so meh. As for the supporting cast, Martha Kent, played by Diane Lane, I thought her performance was great. To at least she gets a little bit of small screen time, but in the extended cut we get to see a little bit more of her. And I thought her performance was great to at least show her son that be all you can be or be none of it. You don't deserve to help these people. Not much of it. At least she motivates her son. Lawrence Fishburne's Perry White also does a great job, even though we get to see a little bit more screen time of him working with Clark Kent at the Daily Planet. And yeah, I give him a plus. Lois Lane, played once again by Amy Adams. Oh my god, the many decisions you have to do. I know she's trying so hard to at least prove Clark Kent, Superman's innocence to what he has done in Africa. It puts her into so many danger zones, and I'm like, Lois Lane, what are you doing? But here's a new person right here, Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons. I thought he was great, and it was great casting. I loved how the way he performed in this movie. To me, I thought Jeremy Irons' performance was absolutely great. We do get to see a little bit more of him in an extended cut version. And as for the Senator, played by Holly Hunter, all I can say is her performance was okay. So yeah, the supporting cast is great. The action, really, really great. The beginning of the movie was awesome. I really did liked it. The fight between Batman and Superman was absolutely one of my favorite moments of the movie. And then also the fight between Batman and the warehouse scene was fucking awesome, and I thought to me, Zack Snyder paid homage to the Batman Arkham games, and to me that was absolutely one of my favorite moments of the movie, especially the fight between Superman and Doomsday, and also the world's finest. Let's talk about the soundtrack, played also once again by Hans Zimmer, and on the side, Junkie XL. I thought the soundtrack was great. Lex Luthor's theme, great. Also, Superman's theme from the Man of Steel stuff does come back. Batman's theme is also cool. The music is absolutely fantastic. I give the soundtrack a plus. Wonder Woman, played by Gal Gadot. Wow, she shut everybody up. She was really thin to play the role, but she worked out, and man, oh man, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Watch, let me give this that. Look at that. She proved everybody wrong, and she completely nails her performance out of the park. This is absolutely fantastic. I give her a plus, and yeah. And let's talk about the cameos of the Justice League. Aquaman's cameo was absolutely cool, even though it was a bit awkward because he's like swimming and looking around to see like who the hell is that with the camera. Cyborg's origin, we get to see him already died from the explosion, and then his father tries to bring him back from the dead, but finds one of the mother boxes and just completely like jump starts his own son, and that's when the mother box completely creates him. And then we get to see a little bit of the origin of the Flash. We get to see a glimpse of him especially in the moment where Batman goes inside to the Injustice route of the movie, where we get to see a glimpse of Darkseid's world, but not only Darkseid, but Superman being a corrupted person after he lost Lois Lane. To me, I thought the moment was absolutely cool. We got 2 scenes of the Flash, and I thought to me it was absolutely cool. But I really would love to see a little bit of snippets of mentions, or maybe at least Arthur Curry and the Flash and Cyborg interfering in the Doomsday fight, which to me I was like, missed potential right there, and I really got mad about that too. Cons. Man, why'd you guys bring in Doomsday and have him killed off Superman immediately? What the fuck? And not only that too, this movie was 2.5 hours long, but there was still scenes missing. What the fuck? And also the scenes between Aquaman, the Cyborg, and the Flash, to me it felt like a little bit of a rush thing. And I understand, guys, you're trying to catch up with Marvel, but why didn't you guys at least set this up, like maybe have our own solo movie in the very beginning? Or why not now, since we have Aquaman coming out in a couple of days here in the States? I'm a little divided on that. And not only that too, the motivations of Lex Luthor were a little bit convoluted. Lois Lane trying to at least risking her life to at least defend and prove that Superman is not a bad guy is completely there's a lot of plot holes in this movie that just completely just goes out of control in this movie, and it just completely falls down. This is the part where Warner Brothers plays fat in the face right here on everything on this movie. And man, Warner Brothers, you guys completely fucked up in this scene. And this is the part where the studio just interfered, and this is when everything gets affected. And I was really mad at Warner Brothers for interfering in this and then making the movie from 3 hours to 2.5 hours. But it was rumored that the movie was more than 3 hours long. So yeah, I know that you guys are setting up the future of the movies, but still, this is kind of like a rush movie. And yeah, this is when everything completely bottles down. And even the Martha scene, I like the scene, but then later on, I'm a little... It's a bit of a cringy moment, the part where Batman and Superman have a fight, and then when Batman has Superman in his face and then says, "Save Martha," and then Batman gets triggered because Martha Wayne is already dead, and then Martha Kent, who is alive but endangered by KGB, or Antonelli Knizia. Batman gets triggered, almost gets killed, but then Lois Lane steps in and then just reminds him that's the mother. Alright, and then lastly, let's talk about the scenes that were cut in the movie. It was missing, everything was just completely piled down. And man, Warner Brothers, why the fuck did you guys interfere in Zack Snyder's work? Why did you guys even think about doing this? And come on, like, I know everybody talks smack about Zack Snyder, but Zack Snyder's a great director. I thought his movies with 300, Dawn of the Dead, Man of Steel was absolutely one of his greatest works. And then this one, actually, this is where the studio interference was affecting his reputation. And this was when everything was completely falling apart. But still, the movie did perform well, and not only did it perform well, we do get a ultimate cut of the movie, which is Batman v Superman: The Ultimate Cut, Ultimate Edition, as I say. 30 more minutes of the movie, we get to see the character motivations much more truer, and and then we get to see what happened to the people in Africa. KGB burns everybody dead and alive after he killed all the terrorist guys and also a bunch of innocent men and innocent people. We get to see him getting exposed. We get more scenes and behind stuff that we get to see all the characters' motivations. And then also we get to see one of the characters that everybody thought that it was a Robin chick, a Robin girl. But it wasn't actually that. It does fix the movie, but it doesn't fix much of it, though. So I'll give this a bit of a separate thing right here. So with that. But is this movie worth watching? I would have to say yes. Even though this movie made around $874 million out of the $1 billion that they're really actually going to make, which they're actually short of $126 million, which they were short of. Yeah, to me, this is actually a cool movie, but the character motivations, the convoluted plots, the plot holes, but at least in the extended cut, it fixes everything, but not almost everything. So yeah, I'll give the regular cut of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice a 6 out of 10. When I watched this, I gave this an 8, but then after I watched it again and a couple of times, I saw its plot holes and the character motivations, it went down to a 6. But with the Ultimate Edition and the Ultimate Cut, that's when some of the elements get fixed, and that's when the bar raises up because we get to see the characters' motivations completely come in clear, and we get to know more of Lex Luthor's motivation of why he wants to burn Superman's reputation, and also same thing with Batman, and more of Antonelli Knizia doing some pretty fucked up shit in this movie, especially with the African woman who accuses Superman. We get to see a bit more screen time of her, of why that she actually lies. And the extended cut or ultimate cut, a 7 out of 10. So yeah, this to me is actually a great movie, but not perfect, but still a lot of convoluted stuff. Some stuff was fixed in the Ultimate Edition. So next time, guys, when we come back, we'll be reviewing the most divided Suicide Squad. There's a lot to talk about, and I am going to defend this movie because I really did like this movie, but we'll get to that in the next review. So I'll see you guys next time with Suicide Squad. Nerd of the 90s, out.